Hello, everybody. My name is Alisa, and guess what? I'm a compulsive eater. And thank God, like all of you, I weigh and measure 3 meals a day from the gray sheet, commit them to my sponsor on time. God and abstinence are the most important things in my life, without exception. I'm very grateful to be here. My abstinence date is August 15th, 2008. So I have a little more than 13 years at this point. And I am so grateful that I stumbled into Gray Sheet after I'd exhausted all my other efforts. My top weight that I know of was 218 pounds. And for a 5'1" woman, that's a lot. And today I am gratefully maintaining a 90-pound weight loss. I spent 9 years in another food fellowship. And so I was no longer at my top weight when I came into Gray Sheet. However, I was unable to be honest about my food in that other fellowship. So I was just going up and down, and I was very unhappy. And then finally, in 2008, I was just binging uncontrollably. And a very dear friend who's a member of our father or, parent fellowship brought me to a Gray Sheet meeting. And I will always remember what my sponsor told me when I was embarking on my day one. That year, 2008, 3 of my 5 children got married in that 1 year. So naturally, I wanted to look good in the pictures and at the party and whatever. So I tried everything, a weight loss coach, a trainer, this is while already being in a 12-step program. And amazingly, the cleverness of me, instead of losing weight, I gained weight. I'm special. In July was the first wedding, and I just, barely fit into that dress. And the person who was doing the alterations said, I can't let this out much more. You have to stop gaining weight. And then the next wedding was the end of September. So I was hoping that I would somehow magically click into sane living, which did not happen. And that's when I really was binging, eating in bed, just crazy stuff, gaining weight by the day. And so I went to Gray Sheet, I got a sponsor, and my day one was a day when I would be in the city. I live in Queens. So I was going into Manhattan to have dinner with my husband, my daughter, her maid of honor, and the maid of honor's parents, whom I'd never met, eating in a restaurant I had not eaten in, and barely knowing how to manage the scale. My sponsor said to me, Alisa, you have 3 options. I never had options before. That was a magic word for me. My sponsor said, you can eat an abstinent meal before you go to the restaurant and sit with everybody and sip abstinent beverages, or you can go to the restaurant and weigh and measure your food and eat your dinner with everyone else, or you can sip beverages during the meal and eat your abstinent dinner after the meal is over. Well, that was not an option. Oh, I called the restaurant. Can I weigh my food in your kitchen? Absolutely not. I wasn't even thinking of insurance laws and safety and stuff. So I did bring quite a bit of backup. It ended up that my daughter and the mother of the maid of honor helped me use the scale and get everything right. It was great. And I was struck abstinent from that day, thank God. Well, I am very committed to Gray Sheet. I do a lot of service as much as I can, especially now that I am retired and my children are grown. I am a member of the Literature Committee, and I'm the secretary for the Literature Committee and the secretary for New York Metro Intergroup. I'm also a startup sponsor. Since the pandemic, I am much more serious about making outreach calls, and I have found it is so rewarding, and that the people I think I'm helping, surprise, surprise, are helping me even more. So I'm grateful I figured that one out. Another thing that I do almost without stopping is taking the STEP workshops. I'm always, whenever one comes up that I can fit into my schedule, I do either the quickly and often or the these are the steps we took workshops. And having it on Zoom is just so great because there's the travel time is eliminated, and having contact as I am this morning with people from all over our country and the world, it's just so incredibly wonderful. I'll just share a little bit about my crazy eating stories from childhood that I think will resonate with you. Although I was very thin as a child, I only lived on sugar. I did not eat regular food. Everything was about the snacks and the sugar. I remember when I became old enough to walk to the corner store with my friends, with my little 25-cent quarter, the allowance in my hand. And there was a whole section of rows and rows of things that we don't eat. And when I was a girl, I'm now 73, it was like 5 cents, and what things am I going to get with this money? I was looking and trying to decide. And then I thought to myself, when I grow up and I have a job, I am going to buy every single one of the things that are on these rows in the display case. And when I came into GreySheet and I remembered that, I thought, other children say, I want to be an astronaut. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a pilot. I'm going to have my own company, whatever they think. And I thought, when I'm a grown-up, I'm going to buy all the stuff we don't eat as much as I want. Now I can kind of chuckle at it, but it really is, and it's sad, it's proof. I am a sugar addict. I am a compulsive eater. And thank God I have a solution today. I am learning as I keep doing these STEP workshops that the solution is a lot deeper and requires a lot more effort than just the food, although the food is really important, and that my abstinence comes first before anything. And sometimes, I just build my day around the meals, and sometimes I have to leave some activity early because I want my meal at a certain time. I just, work around it. And so that, people say the food. And yes, it comes first, because without taking care of my food, I have nothing. However, the other part is the spiritual connection that I am developing with the higher power. And what I'm starting to realize in the past year is that God cannot be simply my higher power. God must be the highest power. So this is a new idea for me. I've learned that not only can a person have an addiction to a substance, but that I can be addicted to my own thoughts, to my own mind. And that was vying for higher power inside of me. And now that I'm aware of it, I am only too ready to step aside and let God be my highest power. And there is no power, close to that. That's the tippy top, and everything else is down below. And I want to quote a little bit from page 13 in the big book, which is Bill's story. He talks about how his friend told him about the steps and doing the inventory and being willing to make amends and stuff. He says, I expressed my entire willingness to approach these individuals, admitting my wrong. Never was I to be critical of them. I was to write all such matters to the utmost of my ability. I was to test my thinking by the new God consciousness within. Common sense would thus become uncommon sense. For me, jumping to a conclusion, this is wrong, I have to do this, I have to fix that, is not the way that my highest power works for me. I need to stop and breathe and think and consider and wait for that right answer to come. And I'm getting better at it. And now I know that other people have feelings and have needs. And I was very self-absorbed. I'm not necessarily selfish, just not so aware of other people. And then the last thing that I want to share is from page 87, which talks about the prayer. We conclude the period of meditation with a prayer that we be shown all through the day what our next step is to be, that we be given whatever we need to take care of such problems. We ask especially for freedom from self-will. And then every day is a day when I must carry the vision of God's will into all of my activities. And that is how I strive to focus my day every day, by sitting with my higher power. I have a guidance journal and I write a letter to my higher power saying, this is where I'm at today, whatever issues. And then I sit there and I wait for guidance, and I get such loving, helpful messages. So I'm very happy that I had a chance to speak with all of you this morning. And I'm so grateful for our wonderful fellowship. And I don't eat no matter what. Thank you.